Okay, I saw another article. I was looking on the Yahoo News page, the aggregator, and this one comes from takepart.com. And I was kind of surprised that they put this, and I don't know whether it was just because they were recommending it to me. I think that they work same like Google and YouTube, is that they find out with the cookies everywhere that you've been through the browser, and they collect that information. So obviously it's the relevant ad principle, the relevant ad algorithms, and all the information they're collecting here in the Big Brother age. But in any case, let me know if you knew about this article. If you follow news on Yahoo, it's, as you can see the title. There was a terror attack in America this week, so why wasn't it in the news? And it's by Brittany Danielle. That's the byline. Never heard of her, but let's take a look. It's a very interesting article, because what it's saying is that all this stuff was going on in France, so the MSM, mainstream media, was bombarding you with that, while in Colorado Springs there was a bomb found outside the local chapter of the NAACP. So that's that activist group for, I think it's the National Association for Advancement of Colored People. So the bomb was detonated when they had found it, and there was minor damage, I guess, from what it says. So Colorado Springs, Colorado, and I didn't hear about this anywhere else. And this article brought that to my attention. But you should read this. I'll give you the link, and it's basically telling you how much of a control the news media does to what information we get. They are trying to put a spin on everything to say, this is what's going on today, this is what's going on this week. So they don't give you much of a question or open-mindedness or diversity to their propaganda, is what I will call it. It's just basically propaganda, and it's if it's not controlled by a shadow government, it is controlled by an oligarchy that wants you thinking a certain way, so that you buy a certain way, so that you act a certain way in the behavior that they want. Which, hey, control is a necessary part of human society. So mark my words that I did say that. I'm not denying, and I'm not saying that we should be in a total wild, lawless anarchy. I'm not saying that. I didn't say that at all. I'm just saying be aware of it and know who the controllers are. Know what the media is shoving down your throat and why. So here's the website the article came from. It's called takepart.com, and never been to the site before, but you might want to check that out also. So they have some writers. I'm not sure what their angle is or their politics, because every news organization does advocate something. But just to wrap up the conclusion of this, if you want to hear why I'm promoting this type of thinking, it is opening up your mind to the fact that a few lives lost of French upscale Caucasians is worth more than countless thousands of darker people in other places of the world that they don't want to focus on. So we might as well talk about Nigeria, what's going on. That's a huge article. That is a massacre that's going on, and they're not featuring it. Some of the news organizations are talking about it. New York Times is talking about it. Okay, so it is coming up. According to the news cycling and the decisions that are made, it's more important to hear about this sensationalized info. Just like Alex Jones says, it's an info war. But later on, everything else has to come out, if it even does, and it takes a back seat. So if there's nothing else going on, we'll talk about Nigeria. There are thousands of people getting slaughtered. It is the faction called Boko Haram. Was forgotten massacre, 2,000 slaughtered by Boko Haram. So do we believe any of this? We have to take everything that is being reported with a grain of salt. You have to take it all very carefully and say, these are selective facts. These give you a biased narrative. Now take it apart and read between the lines and figure out what's the bigger picture that's going on there and in the world. So basically, I want to say that this just happened while I'm doing the video. In the past hour, reports coming out. Germany obviously is ahead in time because it's eastwards from where I am in the United States, and they're going into the evening now. But during the Sunday daytime, they got firebombed at another newspaper office, and no word as to who it is. There's no injuries, it's minor damage, possibly major damage, depending on how you want to measure it. But and also this person, another suspect, allegedly someone involved with the other shooter that was supposedly killed in the kosher market conflict. This woman is hunted. Says she went through Turkey several days ago. Traveled through there probably by plane or could have been by train. They have a very good fast rail system in Europe, but she went from there into Syria, so possibly having some connection with factions that are fighting in Syria, and the news wants us to believe that she is connected with them or protected by them. So her name is Hayat Bournadian. Okay, this is the only picture that we have of her so far. Now, they also talk well of a Muslim. It's not coming up here. There is a Muslim worker, one of the employees at the kosher market, and they said that he was saving the hostages. He helped them hide in the freezer downstairs. Here it is. Muslim worker saved customers from gunmen. So this is important to note in conclusion to what I'm saying here, that a lot of the spin that's coming out, especially from the right wing and the people that hate Sharia and this and that, granted, you know, there's a lot of problems with extremism, granted. But at the same time, you have to realize that the moderate, so-called moderate, just like in all religions, there's extreme, there's fanatics, then there's moderate. Your basic garden variety Muslim is not evil. And that's what they're pointing out here by this, they call him Muslim worker. I would say he's an employee of that store, which was called Hyper Kasher. Look, it's French, okay? Hyper Kasher. And I think we need to keep that in mind, because some of the politicians here, I think a lot of the neocons, if they're still behind the scenes, yes, I think they are, Dick Cheney, all of them, I think what they want to do is stir up the public to be against anything Islamic in the culture and the government so that they can have continued approval. They want to renew the frenzy of the public behind their wars. That's what's going on. That's what's happening here, folks. And that's why the news has to focus on it with a magnifying glass, sensationalize it, blow it out of proportion. Wow, a couple guys were killed here in Paris. Couple guys were killed, and 1 million were killed in the general region of the Middle East because they're trying to steal oil, they're trying to steal the drugs that they're shipping through there. It's a pipeline for heroin, all that kind of stuff, and everything else they want to get. All the other backroom deals that are being set up because of the political intrigue and the spies. That's what they want. So they'll sacrifice a few people, they'll allow it to happen, and then they'll say, wow, now millions of people are marching. Did you see that also? Millions of people have to march today. Let's conclude on this. Paris rally. Millions and millions and millions. And who's giving... Wait, this is not... Hey, what's going on? That's not a Paris rally. That's a racing car. All right, so thousands rally today. Hundreds of thousands. I heard a quote on another article saying 1 million. Like, isn't it like the Million Man March in Washington? Remember that big one? 1 million Islamic black men were marching. That was put by Farrakhan, Louis Farrakhan of Nation of Islam, the big American denomination of the Muslim faith. So, 1 million people marching is the key word here. Of course, that is a media frenzy term of propaganda. Million. What? I mean, did you count 1 million? What if it was like 850,000? Are you still going to call it 1 million? So these all the terms and all the facts can be misleading and can be distorted for the purposes of brainwashing you. But of course, you watch this channel so you'll never be brainwashed. Thanks for watching.